black match. So, with 2023 on the horizon, we figured that we would give some bold predictions. So before we end the show, I wanted to know your 3 bold predictions for 2023.
I think we should go one at a time with each other.
I'm down.
I still think that CM Punk is going to show up in WWE. I know, and I feel like it just makes the most sense because I feel like now that it's been so much time with AEW, and they keep doing like this sidetrack thing where I think I saw an article come out where I think FTR was trying to like butter him up and like talk about how great he was backstage and stuff like that. And they're trying to confuse us over here with AEW on, was Punk really a shitty person as we think that he is or not. I personally think that Tony Khan doesn't see as much money in him as there was before. But no matter how long it's been, that man will always be money if he goes back to WWE, no matter how long it's been, just because of the controversy. And I think that Triple H is insane enough to actually sign him over there. And he could have that flip. He could come in as a heel, as an ultimate heel if he really wants to. But he could switch and become like the ultimate babyface if he also wanted to. And I just feel like that'd be kind of like awesome and kind of like a nice little closing to kind of patch things up with them. And he could kind of end up getting what he wanted. So yeah, that's my first bold ass prediction. I do see a Punk and Cody feud coming up at some point. Yeah.
So as for me, my first my prediction is that it's going to be seen as a comparable promotion to WWE by the end of this year, because I do believe that CM Punk is going to be back in AEW. There was like a post where I think Dax posted something along the lines of regardless of our differences, we should try to make it work. Regardless of the differences between the Elite and FTR and CM Punk, they should just try to make it work. And CM Punk said, duh. I don't think, while I do believe that a return to WWE is always possible, I do believe that CM Punk has unfinished business in AEW. And I believe that he would at least do something to kind of clean up the reputation that he had in AEW before he would go to WWE. And I just also think that while Punk may not be, the fondest of Tony Khan, I do believe, the fondest of the Elite, I think that him and Tony Khan still have a really good relationship. You got to understand, that man owns his entire Ring of Honor catalog. So it's like, you got to be friends with either the devil that you like or the devil that you don't like. And I feel like out of the two, he's going to choose his more favorable one. So that's that. But what's your second prediction for 2023?
This one's a little messy because I love Sasha Banks so much, but I've been pondering to myself that if she goes somewhere else, that is going to be like a lot of hype in the beginning and then might die out really quickly because fans are not used to the format. And that's like a really big irrational fear that I have for her. I feel like regardless where she goes, she's going to shine. Don't get me wrong. But I'm scared that she's going to not fade into the back, but just because she's the first woman to ever do this shit. To be such a big ass name and then to take a risk, leave one of the biggest fucking companies in the world, and then jump to a whole other promotion. So I'm wondering if it's going to be like hype in numbers in the beginning and then it might fizzle out for her. Not that I hope that for her. I really it's just like an irrational fear that I have, but that's like you said, a bold prediction. So I'm like, What if that happens? More like a what if, not prediction, but a what if. What do you think about that?
So the fact that these line up perfectly. My second prediction was
really
that New Japan was going to, they were going to pick up momentum through the acquisition of Mercedes Renato, aka Sasha Banks. Reason being, I just believe that when you have a star that big, and if you immediately insert her into the main event, your company is going to get attention. Company is going to get traction. And I believe that where the Elite kind of left off when they get to AEW, I think Mercedes is going to pick the banner back up, and she's going to make She's gonna make New Japan must see TV again because I feel like they already have new talent, but I feel like it's one of those products that's unequally yoked where some divisions have more attention than others. I believe that they have solid tag teams. I believe they have great main event talent. They have Jay White, for God's sakes. It's they have main event talent, but they don't have that extra kick that's going to really send them over the top. And I believe that Mercedes can be that person that sends them over the top. So that's my second prediction. What about your third?
This one kind of like is gonna go right into our next segment after this, but I'm just gonna mention it right now. I do think that like Wrestle Kingdom, out of all the promotions for the entire year, is gonna be like the biggest one between like WrestleMania, between Wrestle Kingdom, and for AEW, their WrestleMania is basically Double or Nothing, essentially, or All Out. Yeah. Depends on which way you look at it. I say it's Double or Nothing. I feel like is going to be Wrestle Kingdom this year for a lot of reasons. I feel like they're going to have the biggest spike in numbers that they had in years because they're going to pull in a lot of WWE fans. But I also expect a lot of stops to be pulled out, and I feel like as a result of this, being that we have Hunter in charge, I feel like I expect to see a lot more collaborations between New Japan and WWE. And again, I know it goes back into the whole idea that I think that they're all in bed with one another. I feel like they're going to be a promotion that AEW and that WWE are going to be fighting over. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course he wants Sasha back. They're going to always want Sasha back. But I feel like there's going to be like a war between these two. Not even like with each other, but like who can get a hold of like doing like getting contracts saying like you can't work with any other promotion or nothing.
Right.
You know, you either work with us or the competitor. I feel like there's going to be heat with that because of how good Wrestle Kingdom is going to be with the controversy and all the elements that's been surrounding leading up to it. What do you think?
So I think that's a very, very interesting point. My third bold prediction had nothing to do with Wrestle Kingdom. It had everything to do with WWE. It has everything to do with the Bloodline. I believe they're breaking up in 2023. I think the Bloodline is going to break up in 2023. I think we're going to see everyone lose their titles. And once everyone loses their titles, I believe that everyone is going to go about their different directions. I believe that they're going to turn on Sammy.
Oh, it's time.
Sammy and KO are going to win the tag titles. Cody's going to win the WWE title. I believe that after that happens, I just believe that they're just going to break down from within. And they're all going to disperse and go into their separate separate directions because as they've had a great run. They have had a phenomenal Hall of Fame worthy all-timer run. But it's time. It's time to break it apart. It's time to blow it up.
Yeah, but what happens to Roman?
I think this is what's going to lead to Roman versus The Rock. Because it's like once everything is kind of fallen by the wayside, it's like Rock is going to come back. And I think Rock is just going to be on some like, so who's the tribal chief? Like, because you can't even keep the family together.
Oh,
like you can't even the reason why I was out here and you was in here was because you were supposed to hold it down. You didn't hold it down. So now I got to deal with you. So I think that's something that could potentially occur.
Hunter better be writing all this down.
Everybody better because this is good. This is good-ish. Anyway, so after the wrestlers, so after like all of this, I wanted to know 4 different things. Who is your male wrestler to watch in 2023?